Hey guys, what is up? Revive here, and welcome to my Assassin's Creed Unity review. Basically, I am going to be talking about this game and the different points about it, but before I start, I do want to say that there will be spoilers ahead for both Assassin's Creed Unity and the final scenes of Assassin's Creed Rogue. So if you don't want to know anything about it, or you try to stay away from it on YouTube, then leave the video now. So that's my warning over. So first impressions of the game is that it is a very good game. It's very fun. I haven't had this much fun on an Assassin's Creed since I'd say probably Brotherhood. Revelations was good. I enjoyed number 3. 4 I didn't like at all really with 4. But 2 was always my favourite, and Brotherhood. 2 and Brotherhood were always my favourite. So I find this game very good. It's like I said, the most fun I've had since Brotherhood. It's not as fine polished as it could have been. If Ubisoft had spent a month, 2, maybe 3 months, just leave it at that, just polished out all the kinks, and they would have had a lot better game. But we'll come back into that in the later part of the video. So basically, what I want to talk about first is I'm going to be doing 5 categories, which each of these categories will be a different part of the game. I'll give my out of 5 on each of them. So my first one's going to be about the story. The story of Assassin's Creed Unity, if you don't know by now, and I don't know how you don't know by now, is set in the French Revolution in the 18th century. I think it's the 18th century. It might be the 17th century, but I'm pretty sure it's the 18th. But anyway, it's a very strong story, and the Templars versus Assassins plays very heavily on the political side of Unity. Not as much as it could have been, but it is quite heavy, especially with one of the assassin leaders. And he sorted out a treaty with the Templars, which at the beginning of Assassin's Creed Unity is completely wiped away, and kaput. And so you're basically playing as Arno Victorian, a assassin who was raised by a Templar, and yeah, pretty much his father figure gets murdered, and that's after his actual father gets murdered. And yep, you're basically seeking a revenge story, joining the assassins after being thrown in the Bastille, and yep, that's pretty much Assassin's Creed Unity in the story in a nutshell. So I'd say it's a strong story, but with the characters and the story and the way they played out the Assassins vs Templars, I'm going to give it 4 stars out of 5. Next on the agenda is the characters of Assassin's Creed Unity, and I'm just going to put something out there right now. I did not like Arno as much as the other assassins. I think the only assassin that I didn't like other than Arno was Edward Kenway. Did not like Edward, and I liked Arno, but I wasn't into his story like the rest of them. I felt he was more cardboard, like he was just like an angry person, an angry soul, and I just couldn't really connect to him. And I don't know if that's because he's not part of the bloodline of Desmond's bloodline, because apparently he's not part of that. Like, he's not related to Haytham, Connor, Ezio, Desmond, Altair. But if you look at him, he is a spitting image. Like, Desmond is the spitting image of Arno. How could they not be related? I don't know, but apparently they're not. That's what I've read online. But I just don't feel like Arno is... His character grows more as the story progresses, like with each of the assassins, but he just feels like a rebellious teenager. He just feels like he doesn't want to do what people tell him to. He's probably the most disobeying assassin I've ever seen in an Assassin's Creed game. He never listens to anyone, and he just constantly impulses forward. And the only person he actually listens to, or tries to take control of, is Elise. And let's talk about Elise now. Elise, and remember this is spoilers, as soon as her and Arno kissed at the beginning of the game, I said to myself, yep, he's gonna be dead by the end of this. And it was a really touching story. Arno finds out that she's a Templar, that she was raised as a Templar, and just things going on from there, having their flings. She's trying to get revenge for her father, as well as Arno trying to get revenge for her father. And their paths cross again. They end up bumping uglies in a hot air balloon over France, which is brilliant. I love that mission. Not that bit, but chasing, she's flying away in a hot air balloon and you have to chase after her. And it's just really fun, that bit. Okay, so the next, and yeah, obviously she dies, so that's really not good. You could tell she's going to die from the get-go. Other characters in the Assassin's Creed Unity game, like historical figures, you had Napoleon Bonaparte, in King Louis, and just other characters throughout the historical side of Assassin's Creed. They were in there, but they didn't have a fixed presence. Like, Napoleon Bonaparte was like 2 missions, that was it. That was it throughout the whole game, and you see him at the end. And then you have the only person that actually stood out other than Arno was his assassin mentor, Bellic, who used to call Arno a pisspot, and I used to call Bellic a Bellic, because he was. Especially during Sequence 8, when he did that stupid thing when you're forced to do stuff to him. So yeah, I'm not going to spoil that bit, because that is a powerful mission. That's the only mission I felt, I wanted to be a part of. Like, in real life, I wanted to be in that mission. I felt so there for Arno in that mission. That's the one time I actually connected with that character. So Bellic, Elise, Arno, great characters except for Arno, but again, it wasn't as strong as it could be, and I'm going to give that around 3.5 stars for the characters. Now let's move on to the graphics. The graphics for Assassin's Creed Unity are the interiors. There's so much interior design, tunnels, there are so many buildings that have not been used. Like, there's so many buildings that are unique, but I feel like because they spent so much time on the interior, the outer external graphics of like the whole world weren't up to scratch as they were in, say, like Watch Dogs or Infamous Second Son. The graphics on them 2 games were amazing. Like Second Son, I thought I was there at points. It was just so beautiful and it was just like so vivid. But you get to Assassin's Creed Unity and it's good graphics, do not get me wrong at all. They are beautiful graphics, but it's not up to the standard that has been set by current gen consoles at the moment. So yep, that's why I feel like the graphics, and I also feel like because of the whole, there's so many people, you can have 500 people on the screen at the moment on Assassin's Creed Unity. Because there's so many people bustling about in the floor, you can't really get a street level view of the graphics because it's just taken up by people all the time. So graphics, I'm actually going to give 4 stars because it's amazing graphics, especially the interior, but the outer is what puts it down. Then finally I'm going to talk about the technical side, because as you know, Ubisoft made an embargo for all reviews, so they weren't allowed to be given out 24 hours after the game's release, which is not good. And if you've played Assassin's Creed Unity, you will see why. There is frame rate drops, which, to be honest, it was shown that Assassin's Creed on Xbox runs at 25, and on PS4 it runs at 23, which is bad for a current gen console. That is very bad. But there's only a few times that I've actually noticed it. Like walking through the crowds, I notice it, and there's some points where there's like a really colourful place, like in the church at the beginning. There was bits when you're free running around there, and the frame rate drops to 1 frame per second, and I couldn't see the screen. It was that bad. So, like I said, Ubisoft should have polished out all of their bugs for about 3 months before they released, and that was just made it bad. And then there's constant glitches. Like, I've never seen these face glitch before, but you can find them easily on Facebook and Google, where basically the character models, their faces aren't there, so all you see is their teeth and their eyeballs and their hair, and it looks grim. And it's just not nice at all, but that's a glitch that's been, I think it's been patched now with the second patch that was released on a day after Assassin's Creed Unity was released on the PS4, so I think that's been fixed, so that's why I haven't seen it. And then there was a glitch I had earlier, which is the first glitch I've actually encountered, where I went to air assassinate someone and I completely fell through the floor, kept falling and falling and falling and falling, and then randomly, about 5 minutes after falling, I died. So that annoyed me, and that also seemed to actually demote my character from a veteran back down to an enforcer, which is like 3 rank, which annoyed me quite a bit. And the co-op, I'm going to talk about the co-op in the technical part, because when it works, as you can see in this video, it works well. The only problem is originally, before the second patch, there was a lot of matchmaking issues where it took me around 20 minutes to find one game once. And I'm constantly, you have to press the touchpad on the PS4 and then circle to stop searching. But that doesn't work sometimes, so you have to come out of the game and then go back into it. And just stuff like that. When it works, but when it doesn't, Assassin's Creed Unity co-op can be absolute nightmare. But all overall, so I'll give the technical side around 3.5 stars as well. And so finally, we come to my final opinion of Assassin's Creed Unity, and that is, I will give the game overall 4.5 stars. Because it is an amazing game. I've had so much fun with it. I haven't even wanted to touch COD, which I will talk about in a later video. But I haven't wanted to touch COD at all because this game has just been so fun. I spent around 14 hours straight playing it the other day, so I've already clocked on more hours on Assassin's Creed Unity than I did before on Advanced Warfare, which is saying something. But if you enjoyed my opinion of Assassin's Creed Unity and would like to see more videos on next-gen consoles, then please make sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in my next video.